Hello and welcome today. I have a special treat for you. This is my friend Brie Caywood, and she is from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Brie is actually the one of the owners of the 1907 store in Broken Arrow. That everything in the store is made in Oklahoma. It is a really cool store, and so if you're ever in Broken Arrow, down in the is it the Rose District? Is that what it's called? The Main Street? Okay. In that area, you have to drop in and see Brie. Brie is also certified in AFT and reflexology. So today she's going to tell us more about AFT. Who is ready to learn about AFT? I know I am. And so what is AFT? AFT is Aroma Freedom Technique. And this book is by Dr. Benjamin Perkis. And this is the book that she has been trained out of. And also, now see, I'm an Audible learner. So I actually got the audio book, and that's how I learned more about this. And now that I am able to do this on my family and help them, I actually got the quick guide. So as I'm working through it with my family, it has quick little steps for me to do this. And so those are the books that that I want to encourage you to purchase to get started in this aroma freedom technique that she is going to demonstrate for us, and she's going to tell us. Also, in the month of September 2017, we are going to have a special group on Facebook, and it's going to be an emotions group. We're going to talk about conquering our emotions. One of the leaders in the group is going to be Rhonda Favano, who has authored Conquering Toxic Emotions. I want to encourage you to get this book and Louise Hay, Heal Your Body. Now, for years, I was against this whole Heal Your Body book because of the title, because I know my true healing comes from the Lord. And so I don't want to discourage you by that title of the name. I want to encourage you on what an incredible book this is, and how it has so many different things that can help us find freedom from our emotions, but also things, a lot of times there's illnesses in our body that are caused by emotions that are trapped in our body. Another great book we're going to reference is Feelings Buried Alive, Never Die. Sorry, I just hit my printer. So Feelings Buried Alive, Never Die is another great one. And so this is one that is that Brie can even tell you more about whenever she is talking with us. And so Brie, I'm going to turn it over to you, and I want you to explain to us the hows and the whys of AFT, how we can benefit, how our families can benefit, how we can help others with this. So go ahead, Brie, tell us more about it.
Thank you so much for having me, Molly. It's a blessing to help your group and talk to y'all. So just a little bit about me and how I got started in AFT. I've been with Young Living since fall of 2014, and it really helped me get healthy physically and just live in that abundance. But I had a really hard time knowing what to do with the emotional side. It was like, oh, that one smells bad to me. Like all the emotional ones, they just smelled awful. I had some negativity in my background, to say the least. I'm a mom, a single mom, and so there's a whole lot of emotional stuff that I had to go through with a really messy divorce, and just some things that just making me go to therapy and talk about them just made me mad, and I didn't really want to do that anymore. So it's like, all right, Lord, putting all this back in your hands, and you'll come up with a way to help me. And AFT has very much been the way to help me. Like Molly said, AFT was developed by Dr. Benjamin Perkis. He is a clinical psychologist, or the one's the fancy ones, psychiatrist, goodness. And he's been an oiler since 1996. He spoke at convention this year he spoke at the yoga convention. But Gary Young trusts him a lot. He actually sent him over to Singapore to develop the technique, because he knew, okay, Gary makes all these great oils, great for very specific targeted emotions. But if you don't know how to use them, you're like, oh, I have it, but it sits on my shelf, right? And so there is kind of a disconnect with knowing what to do with them. So Dr. Purkis wanted to make a step-by-step process that we could all utilize. It's very duplicatable. So you can take this to your families, use it on yourself, use it on your team. Across the board, it's incredible. What's great about AFT is you can do a session in about 10 or 15 minutes. It can be very conversational. You can be laying in bed with your kids and they had a bad day and just take them through an AFT session. They go to sleep, peaceful, sleep through the night, wake up, have a great day the next morning, and everything's all nice and oily. So you go to sleep too really well, you know, like the benefits are for the giver and the receiver. So AFT is really good for a few things. It helps you obtain clarity on your purpose. Like we all want to live a purpose-driven life, right? But sometimes we get stuck in the day-to-day and the garbage in our brains. And it's like, well, why am I here? AFT is really good to help you figure that out. And it's also really great to get rid of those emotional mental blocks that we've built up along the way. So if life is this big open path when we're 5, by the time we're 10, it's about like this. By the time we're 30, it's about like this. By the time we're 40, we're living down this little itty-bitty road where you don't even know what's going on out here because you're so stuck in your head. So it's also good for releasing emotional patterns. So negative emotional thoughts lead to behaviors, lead to patterns, lead to more negative thoughts. It's just this vicious cycle of negativity, and AFT just breaks that wide open. It's really great for doubt and procrastination. I think we could all use a little help in that department, you know, doubting your abilities, your confidence, and really good for building confidence because it gets you past all those things that tell you you're not beautiful, you're not smart, you're not all the things that God made you to be. And then it's really good to help you realize your goals. It's very targeted goal setting, but then it gets rid of all the stuff in the way. It works really well with like, you know, ooh-la goals and just all the things that we want, but it's like, there's this little thing that's telling me I don't deserve it or I can't have it or it won't work. So that's how AFT just gets rid of all of that. So it's a cool process. And I got certified as a level 1 student because I had so much I needed to learn. I read the book and one day did a clearing on myself, and then the next day I was in certification class. Awesome. And then a week later I decided, I was like, I know this is crazy, but God said I should learn how to teach this. And so then I was in level 2 certification, and now I'm an instructor. And so I can teach people the process and do a lot of really cool stuff. But I used to be this robot with no feelings at all and just so in my shell. And it's like the transformation has just been, it's the Lord, you know, working through me and opening me back up to the things that I had shut myself down so far that he couldn't use. So it's been a really big blessing for me and my family and my team. So I'm really excited to help.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Now, Brie does offer AFT in the 1907 store and reflexology. And so if you're in the Tulsa, Broken Arrow area, that is something that you can look into. Now, can you also get certified online?
Yes, you can. So an in-person certification is a 2-day intensive, kind of like care training. But then there is an 8-week online class, which is 1 class a week. But you learn just as much in the in-person training, and then there's still the follow-up. All the requirements are the same. You just have it goes quicker. You have a person right there that you can always talk to. So I went through the 8-week online training, and then I've taught the 2-day intensives. I got a lot more connected, I think, with my students in the 2 days than I did with my classmates in the 8 weeks. So there are benefits to both, but you still get all of the support as any of the students in the online academy. So.
Okay, fabulous. And we will put the link to get certified. We will put that link on this post, and that way you can find out more information if you're interested in getting certified. And so, all right. So now that you kind of have an idea of what it is, now we are going to demonstrate. She's going to do an AFT right here on me. And so what we did beforehand is we got our oils out and we are prepared with our oils. And we also took a few minutes to talk off of the recording about what my goal was. And the reason we did that is because sometimes that can take a little bit of time, and we wanted this recording to be easy for you. So if you purchased a premium starter kit, then you already have the 3 oils that are needed for this fabulous technique. So you've got lavender, stress away, and frankincense. Okay. So with these 3 oils, this is what you're going to need. Now, also, whenever you do reorder, and if you're a rewards member, you'll get a percentage back, because if you're going to do this AFT on yourself, and it's not just a one-time thing, correct, Brie? Once you do it, you can overcome many obstacles, but you also want to help others, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're going to need more than that lavender from your starter kit, and you'll be able to order. Do you see this? When you order, you're going to order a 15 mil the next time. And this has 250 drops versus 75 drops. And so don't get concerned and go, oh no, I've run out of my lavender. I can't do this again. No worries. Just log on. If you're a rewards member, you'll get 10% back starting out and build up to 25% on reordering each time. And so the other oils, and I'm going to hold them up and I'll introduce them, but I will let Brie explain why there are some other oils that you may want to order and have on hand when doing it. So we've got Clarity is the first one, and Believe. Are those comparable, or is that the 2?
So Clarity you would use before you start if you just have no idea what you want. Sometimes we need to kind of like narrow our brain back in to get some clarity. And then Believe you use at the end when you're trying to, like, for the affirmations.
Okay.
So once we clear out all the gunk, you want to have a positive oil to really open you back up. And
Okay.
if you only have a starter kit, instead of Believe,
you can use lemon. Okay. So the lemon that comes in the starter kit is Vitality. However, it's the same lemon that is also used for topical application. So once you purchase this, even though this is labeled for oral use as a supplement, once you purchase it, you can choose to use it however you wish. And you can always reorder the lemon that comes topical in a larger bottle as well. And the next one, Release.
So Release is really good for stuck emotions. It's also good for anger and frustration. Sometimes those ones are hard to get out of our system. And so Release is really good to get rid of them. But if you don't have Release, you can substitute Thieves, because it's also got a really distinct smell that's going to work on a cellular level. So
very good. And then Inner Child.
Inner Child is a very nurturing blend. It's kind of, a lot of the times we're going to pull up memories from our childhood when you really just wish you could give yourself a hug. And so Inner Child just kind of gives your little girl side or your little boy side a hug. And if you don't have Inner Child, you can use a lot of things. Like, I really like Peace and Calming. But if you just have a starter kit, you can just use the Stress Away. So,
okay.
Or if you have anything citrus, that'll work as well. Orange or tangerine, mixed with a little bit of cedarwood. So you can get pretty creative with the process. So just try it out, see what you have on hand. Like, I've done the whole thing with a bottle of cypress because that was what was on my bedstand. So it'll work. Just try with what you've got. So.
And then what about Transformation?
Transformation. So that's one of the affirmation oils. And so sometimes you need to believe in yourself, and sometimes you need to transform your personality altogether. So you kind of have to use your intuition on which one you're going to want to use. And if you don't have transformation, you can use peppermint or a tree oil, and it'll do about the same. So.
Excellent. Very good. All right. So here we go. Let's get started and let's demonstrate how an AFT. I have never had an AFT done on me. So you are seeing this raw, okay? And now I have done them on my son, and we were having challenges, and that is when I instantly was like, okay, everyone has to know about this. This is something I can't keep to myself. And so here we go, Brie. And let's pray real quick before we get started. I thank you, Father God, for this day. I thank you for everyone watching. I pray, Lord, that you're going to give us the wisdom to apply this technique to our lives. I thank you, Father, for releasing these negative thoughts in my mind and giving Brie the wisdom to help guide me in what I need to do. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay, so I'm just going to take you through the process, and when you're doing AFT, like in the future, the important thing is to just follow the process. Don't get lost in the middle, because that's when people get stuck. So just when y'all are trying this at home and it gets a little heavy, just trust the process and keep going. So that's my one caveat. So, okay, so we talked before and set you a goal. So the step one is to set a goal or an intention. So that one's, you're going to want to set a present time actionable statement. So no wills, shoulds, or some days. You want it to be today. This is what I want today. So your goal was, I'm free from stress eating. Yes?
Free from stress eating. Yes. A lot of times, we we're stressed out. And so the eating and stuff, so a lot of times that picks up the more I'm stressed out. So yes, that's my goal.
Okay. So now we're going to rate it 0 to 10. Yes.
Real quick, just to explain to them on this can be addictions of any kind. She mentioned smoking, drinking, pornography, sugar cravings, many different addictions. And so it's not necessarily just because I said that is mine. There are obsessive compulsive, different things like that. Is that correct?
Yes. So when you're working on, okay, all addictions is a need unmet. So we're figuring out what the need is, and we're going to meet it in a different way. So you want to say, I am free of whatever your craving is. So when you're trying to help people, don't call them an addict, because that has a negative connotation and you're judging them, right? So we're going to work on that craving. And so that's what we're working on, sugar cravings and stress eating, because there's a need that's not being met that she's using food to fulfill. And so this can work on, we all have needs, we all crave things, right? So you're helping from a place of love, because we all meet our needs differently. And some of us have it's a really big need and we do it a lot. And now this one thing that made you feel good, you make it feel you good in a lot of areas. So, so if you say it's, like I did one, like I am free from caffeine and chocolate or sugar cravings when I'm stressed, because those are the things that I used to calm me back down. I use coffee as a painkiller. So I can still enjoy coffee and chocolate now. I'm just not doing it compulsively, if that makes sense. So, yes. So try it out. If you have any questions, we'll make sure my information's in there, and you guys can get a hold of me if you need help. So, okay. So I am free from stress eating. Yes?
Yes, I am free from stress eating.
Okay. So I'm going to need you to rate that 0 to 10 on how likely it feels now. 0 being impossible, 10 being absolutely. First number that comes to mind.
5, I would say.
Okay. So now we're going to listen into the negative voice that tells you that's not possible.
Okay.
And I also want the first thing that comes up.
Fear.
So it's just you're afraid? Like, what does the voice say?
Like failure.
Okay.
Like maybe fear of
fear of
failing.
failure?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So now identify how you feel when you hear that negative voice. So the one word emotion. Do you feel like a failure, or do you feel afraid? Or is it?
Maybe
do you feel,
acceptance. Like if I fail, I won't be accepted. Does that make sense?
So the opposite of accepted. Okay. So
Rejection.
rejected.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So every feeling we feel in our body, or every feeling we have, we also feel that somewhere in our body. Like you can have a nervous stomach, or a weight of the world on your shoulders, or just a posture. So I need you to find where you feel that in your body.
So my stomach, it's like the top of my stomach. Yeah.
Okay. Is it a tightness, or it doesn't really matter? But
Yeah, I would say a tightness. Yeah.
okay. Okay. Now I need you to close your eyes and drift back to an earlier time when you felt the same way. That same tight feeling in your stomach, that same rejection, that fear of failure. Just give me the first memory that pops up.
Okay.
Could be.
You want me to tell you about it?
If you're willing.
Okay. So in middle school, when I gave someone a gift and they threw it on the ground.
Oh.
I know.
Okay.
It was a boy on Valentine's
Now,
Day too, if that makes any sense.
yes, it does. So, okay. Now I need you to grab your lavender, frankincense, and stress away.
Okay.
And take a drop of each of them. And if y'all get a bottle and mix the three together, you still just need one drop. But since yours aren't mixed, you need a drop of all three. So.
Okay.
Okay. Now, rub your hands together. Breathe in real deep while you focus on that memory of being in middle school, giving a gift to a boy as he throws it on the ground. Breathe the oil into that feeling in the top of your stomach. Breathe the oil into that rejection. And notice what starts to happen to the image. It starts to fade away or get blurry. Notice what happens in your body. You start to relax. Just keep breathing until it all fades away. And when you're done, just set your hands down when you felt a shift.
Okay. That's incredible.
Can you tell us what happened?
Yeah, it just like slowly, like the memory just like melted away. And so, so it kind of just slowly faded. And then as it faded, my stomach like released and was softened. It wasn't tight anymore.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Do you feel any more confidence about your goal?
Yeah, I do. I really do. And so, and at the time, in middle school and stuff, I wasn't really a stress eater or anything like that, but the encounter was near the cafeteria, and I could even see that drifting away. So it's kind of like, it's funny how, I don't know. Now I'm like
how they're
thinking of other
connected.
stuff. Yeah, right.
So awesome. Okay, so now we're going to go back and rerate your goal. So
Okay.
I am free from stress eating. You were at a 5. Can you give me a new number, please?
Yeah, let's do 10.
Oh, well, awesome.
Yeah.
So, okay, so normally we're trying to get to an 8, but you jumped all the way up, so that's good. But if you were, so say we started at a 0 and now we're at a 4, we're going to do another round of those steps. But we don't have to, because you jumped up real
good.
fast.
I mean, that was like incredible. Yeah.
Awesome.
And I haven't thought of that situation, or that guy, like, or that even any of that ever. Like,
right.
I don't know why that came to my mind. That's why that's crazy.
It's weird, AFT is kind of like pulling the root of a tree of something that's in your head, and so you may not think of it, but that one little seed grew a big tree of this negative behavior that we have. So that something just pops up, and so it may not be logical at all, but that's the memory associated with this need that you have, or this craving. So we found the right one, obviously. So awesome. Okay, so now we're going to create an affirmation to sink in your new belief that you have.
Okay. And
it can be the same, or it can be a little bit stronger and closer aligned to what your soul wants, because we asked your soul when we did this. So you were at, I am free from stress eating. Do you want to go with that, or you want to change it up a little bit?
I think that's good.
Okay. So I am free from stress eating. So this is when we're going to grab either the believe or the transformation. Which one do you feel drawn to? Believe?
I like believe. Yeah.
Okay. So grab your believe, and we're going to say your affirmation in a power pose. Okay. And power poses are kind of weird, but they increase your confidence, raise your testosterone, and lower your cortisol. And especially with a stress thing, you want to lower the cortisol. So you're going to put a couple drops of believe on your hands, rub them together, smell it, go into your power pose as you say your affirmation. So say it 3 times. I'm free from stress eating. And then smell your oil, and do this like 3 sets of 3. So,
power pose is just my hands on my hips?
No, well, we're going to stand up and find one that makes you feel strong. I like Wonder Woman because she's pretty cool. So that is, a powerful stance, shoulders back, hands on your hips. But you can have your hands over your head, just something that's going to make you feel strong and confident.
And I need to stand?
Standing makes them more powerful, but you don't have to, since
I know, I was going to say, since we're on the camera, what about if I did like this? Like, this is how I had my son to do it, like power pose. Like, I had him to stand and do like this, almost like a praying position. Would that be okay?
Yeah, that's fine. A lot, like, if you're doing, a lot of your power poses can be in prayer, because that's where you're getting, if you're getting your power from the Lord, that's fine. Like, I've had some of my strongest ones on my knees praying, because like you're giving things back to God that you didn't need to hold on to. So get in your power pose and say your affirmation 3 times.
And my affirmation is, I am free from stress eating.
I'm free from stress eating. So
I am free from stress eating. I am free from stress eating. I am free from stress eating. I am free from stress eating.
and we would just do that until it feels right. Like, normally 2 minutes of doing that really sinks it in, and you do it for the next 3 days, morning and night, because you just want to like lock your new belief into your subconscious. Like, that old belief has been there since middle school, right? So we ripped something out. Now we want to fill it up with something positive.
Okay.
So that's what the affirmations are for. So, and then is there just any action steps that you need to take to be free from stress eating? And if not, that's fine too.
Yeah. Any action steps? So yeah. So say for instance, the action step would be like not putting yourself in the situation, or what would you say an action step would be?
I mean, for something like that, it might be getting rid of some of those foods that you stress eat for. So, getting rid of the Oreos, or letting someone know, like find an accountability partner, or it can just be to do your affirmation for the next 3 days, just to lock it in. As if it's an identity thing, you really just have to allow yourself to receive it. But say if someone wants to move up ranks, so say you want to go from executive to silver, okay, we've cleared out the block. What is the action step? I need to contact my leaders. I need to, figure out how they need help, or set up 4 classes each month. So sometimes there's action steps, and sometimes you just need to allow yourself to enter into your new reality.
Okay, good deal. And so you said for a few days, how often should I continue to do this, and when could I get another AFT to work on another challenge?
So as soon as this one feels good with you, you can stop the affirmations. Normally, we recommend to do them 2 minutes at night and 2 minutes in the morning for the next 3 days.
Okay.
But you could go ahead and do another AFT clearing in the meantime. Like you've done most of the work getting rid of the negative blocks. So if you feel strong in it, we could go ahead and do another one. Like, it's always good to have something running. Like do 1 a week, 2 a week, just depending on how much you have cleared out. You're going to want to get in a hurry and do these. But you can, if you did, 5 in 2 days, you're going to detox emotionally and you're going to get a headache. So just don't go crazy fast. But you can do more than 1 at a time for sure.
Is that why you said to make sure you have lots of water?
Yes. So please stay hydrated when you do AFT. Our brains are 80% water, and you did a whole lot of work. It doesn't really necessarily feel like it, but electrons are rewiring and new pathways are opening, and so you're going to want to drink a lot of water. And all of our memories are stored in our cells, and so you're flushing out a lot, and it's always good to stay hydrated so those things don't give you a tummy ache or a headache. So
okay, great.
Hydration is very important.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, thank you so much. Yes. And look at that, guys. Now, at the back of the quick guide, you'll have these steps, okay? Now, I walked my son through that. However, I didn't know as much about it. I kind of listened to it and stuff. So now that I see her demonstrate that, I feel more confident in allowing him. Now, for instance, what if you don't feel like the AFT worked? What do you need to do?
Okay, so if it didn't work, it's normally because your walls are up so high to the process of letting yourself be emotional. That's the problem. Because I used to be that way. So sometimes you don't want to let yourself feel, so you're not going to. Just keep trying. It took me 3 weeks before I could do AFT and find a memory. But so you get to step 5 and nothing comes up, just focus on the feeling in your body and smell the oils, and you'll have a shift. And a lot of the times, if you smell the oils, then a memory will pop up because you opened yourself up a little bit, whether you knew it or not. And sometimes it's people, they're not connected to their goal. So maybe it's something they feel like they should do, but they have no desire to do it. Then the process isn't going, like, it's not going to work. You can't clear out a path you don't want to go down, basically. Or your emotions wrong. So sometimes people are really judgmental, like your emotion is he doesn't love me, though that's a judgment. You feel abandoned or you feel rejected. But so that's when the Feelings Buried Alive book comes in handy.
Yeah.
Because it is like a feelings inventory. So you can look up, is that a feeling? And if it's not in here, then it's a judgment. You thought it was a feeling, but it's not. So dig a little deeper and find the actual feeling behind that judgment. Because there's always a feeling, it's hidden away. Our society isn't very good at, expressing our emotions. So normally it's just people have really big walls.
All right.
And they need to be broken down. So I can help them with that.
You also said the memory resolution technique. That's also something, chapter 5. Is that something that is a little bit more intense than the AFT itself?
Mm-hmm. So that very much comes with an emotional detox. But okay, so the memory resolution technique is for memories that you have that are traumatic. And that doesn't have to be trauma in the traditional sense. It's just something that overwhelmed your system at the time, and it didn't get filed away properly. So the memory resolution technique starts with the memory and the emotions around it and releases it so it can be filed away.
Okay.
Because sometimes you don't have a goal. You just have something that's always playing in the back of your head that you want to get rid of.
Okay.
So that's what that's for.
Good deal. All right. Well, thank you so much, Brie. And I hope that you all enjoyed this. And I hope that you take the time to share with your friends and family this wonderful technique of AFT. This is Brie Caywood. And we will put her information in this post. Have a very blessed day. And thank you, Brie. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.